In this episode, we move from understanding how attackers get in and escalate privileges to what you must do when prevention fails, because even well-designed cloud environments can experience compromise. Containment is the discipline of limiting damage quickly, deliberately, and without creating unnecessary chaos. In public cloud environments, containment looks different from pulling a physical network cable or shutting down an entire data center. Instead, it often involves isolating identities, restricting permissions, rotating credentials, and surgically limiting access while preserving visibility. If you respond emotionally or too broadly, you can disrupt business operations without actually removing the threat. The goal here is to understand how to contain intrusions fast while keeping control of scope, evidence, and operational stability. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Containment begins with clarity about what is compromised and what is not, even if that clarity is incomplete at first. When suspicious activity is detected, the instinct to disable everything immediately can feel strong, but indiscriminate shutdowns can destroy evidence and interrupt legitimate processes. Instead, the first step is often to isolate the suspected identity or resource while maintaining logging and visibility. In cloud environments, identity is usually the most critical containment lever because compromised credentials are common entry points. Disabling or restricting a compromised account prevents further misuse while investigation continues. The key is to act quickly but not blindly, preserving both control and information. Isolation in the cloud is often achieved through policy modification rather than physical disconnection. For example, you might remove an identity's permissions, attach a restrictive policy, or block network access for a specific workload. This approach allows you to stop active misuse without destroying the system entirely. Because cloud infrastructure is software-defined, isolation can be precise and reversible if handled carefully. That precision is a strength, but it requires disciplined thinking under pressure. You want to isolate only what is necessary to prevent spread, not everything in sight. Credential resets are another core containment action, especially when initial access involves stolen passwords, access keys, or tokens. Rotating credentials ensures that previously exposed secrets can no longer be used. However, resets must be coordinated carefully to avoid breaking legitimate integrations or automation workflows. If service accounts are involved, you must consider dependent systems that rely on those credentials. A rushed reset without awareness of dependencies can cause cascading outages. Effective containment balances urgency with awareness of system relationships. When privilege escalation is suspected, containment may require reviewing and reversing recent permission changes. Attackers often create new identities, attach policies, or modify trust relationships to maintain persistence. Part of containment is identifying those unauthorized changes and restoring the intended state. This may involve deleting suspicious roles, revoking newly granted permissions, or tightening overly broad policies. Because cloud environments log administrative changes, reviewing those logs becomes a vital containment activity. Visibility into what changed and when allows you to undo malicious modifications with confidence. Scoped actions are essential to prevent unnecessary business disruption. Instead of shutting down entire environments, containment should focus on the minimal set of identities and resources directly associated with suspicious behavior. This requires disciplined analysis of activity logs and resource relationships. If suspicious activity is tied to a single account or workload, you isolate that component first rather than taking down unrelated systems. Cloud platforms make granular control possible, and effective defenders take advantage of that granularity. Broad reactions may feel decisive, but precise actions are usually more effective. Network containment in cloud environments often involves adjusting security groups, firewall rules, or routing configurations. If an attacker is communicating with external systems, restricting outbound connectivity from the affected workload can reduce further damage. However, network isolation should be done with awareness of legitimate traffic patterns. Blocking all egress indiscriminately can interrupt normal operations and obscure what the attacker was attempting. A measured approach might involve restricting specific protocols or destinations associated with suspicious behavior. The goal is to contain communication channels without losing situational awareness. Cloud containment also requires attention to persistence mechanisms. Attackers who anticipate detection may establish secondary access paths, such as additional credentials or modified automation pipelines. During containment, defenders must actively search for these hidden footholds. Removing only the obvious compromised account while leaving backdoor access intact can lead to reentry. This is why containment often overlaps with early investigation. Even while stopping active misuse, you are identifying and eliminating secondary pathways. Automation can assist with containment if properly designed in advance. For example, predefined response actions can automatically disable suspicious accounts or quarantine workloads based on alert triggers. However, automated containment must be carefully scoped to avoid false positives causing widespread disruption. A well-designed automated action should target high-confidence signals and execute minimal necessary restrictions. Automation reduces response time, but human oversight ensures context-sensitive judgment. Balancing automation and manual control strengthens containment effectiveness. Communication during containment is another often overlooked factor. Cloud environments typically support multiple teams and business functions, and abrupt access changes can affect ongoing operations. Clear communication ensures that legitimate users understand temporary restrictions and can coordinate recovery steps. At the same time, information sharing should be controlled to avoid alerting potential insiders or causing unnecessary panic. Containment is not only technical, it is also organizational. Maintaining trust and clarity during response strengthens resilience. An important principle in cloud containment is preserving evidence while stopping harm. Deleting compromised resources immediately may eliminate malicious activity, but it can also remove valuable forensic data. In many cases, isolating a resource rather than destroying it allows investigators to analyze logs, configuration states, and activity history. Preserving evidence supports accurate root cause analysis and strengthens future defenses. The balance between stopping damage and maintaining evidence is delicate, but it is essential. Thoughtful containment protects both the present and the future. Containment also benefits from predefined playbooks that outline common response actions for likely scenarios. For example, a playbook for credential compromise might include disabling the account, rotating keys, reviewing recent activity, and checking for new role assignments. Having these steps outlined in advance reduces hesitation during an actual event. Cloud environments move quickly, and delays can allow attackers to deepen their foothold. Preparedness enables calm and decisive action. While every incident is unique, common patterns allow structured response. Ultimately, containing cloud intrusions fast depends on understanding identity control, scoped isolation, credential hygiene, and careful reversal of unauthorized changes. Isolation limits spread, credential resets cut off attacker access, and scoped actions preserve operational stability. Precision is the defining characteristic of effective cloud containment because the environment allows fine-grained control if used wisely. On the exam, you may encounter scenarios where multiple response options are presented, and your task is to choose the one that best limits impact without causing unnecessary disruption. In real cloud operations, the same principle applies. Calm, controlled containment turns a breach into a manageable incident rather than a cascading failure.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.